government surveillance system to expand nationwide, 2 dead in horrific hit and run, and Exxon to pay $1 billion for pipeline. I'm Rico Beaufort, and this is Uncut News. News happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The Georgetown Safe City project is expanding to become a national initiative, with plans to implement this Safe Country project in Regions 3 and 6. The project aims to reduce crime in those areas through the use of an integrated surveillance and patrol management system, similar to Georgetown's current system. In addition, the government has approved funding for the modernization of CCTV capabilities at major ports of entry and exit throughout the nation. $2.5 billion has been set aside for an electronic identification system, and $2.8 billion has been approved for an e-gate and border control system. Now remember what I keep telling you, the surveillance state is ever expanding. The Audit Office is preparing to hire 8 new employees to strengthen the office's capacity. The move was prompted by questions from Shadow Finance Minister Folder Lawrence, who raised concerns about the increase in allocation for the Audit Office. The hike is due to a salary increase and the appointment of audit managers, which was approved by the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee. The Committee of Supply also approved the allocation for the rental of properties to host polling stations for this year's local government elections. The Rose Hall Sugar Estate in Region 6 is getting even more money, courtesy of your tax dollars. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa appeared before the committee to discuss the allocation of $2 billion, with $1.195 billion set aside for the reopening of the estate. The funds will be used for new equipment purchases and rehabilitation of older equipment, as well as capital spending at other estates and the construction of a packaging plant. The minister emphasized the significance of the sugar industry to the economy and employment in the nation. The government is putting $500 million towards the president's Men on a Mission program, aimed at helping those in need. However, the opposition is questioning how the funds will be managed and who will be selected as beneficiaries. Governance Minister Gail Teixeira has assured that the money will be used legally and that the program is being overseen by trusted leaders. Trusted leaders indeed. Ha-ha! The government is launching a $1.75 billion project to bring solar panels with a capacity of 150 kilowatts to 30,000 households in the hinterland. The project, which was agreed upon in India in 2021, has yet to start, and the opposition is inquiring about its status, wondering why it is yet to even begin. The Prime Minister has announced that the project will begin in the first quarter of this year and bring electricity to those communities for the first time ever. The government will also be increasing spending on hinterland power stations to provide longer hours of power. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2017 Land Rover Discovery Sport. It comes with leather, 4-wheel driving programs, Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, bar camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $10.4 million, or pay as low as $2.08 million down with around $201,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and Southern Rico sent you for this sweet deal.
You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info.
Tired of waiting on hold, tracking down a delivery driver, or carrying cash for your food orders? GT Eat is here to make your life easier. Guyana's first cashless food ordering and delivery app. Choose from Georgetown's top restaurants, pay securely with your card, and get your food delivered right to your doorstep. With the convenience of being able to order from your phone and the added feature of tracking your order, GT Eats is the ultimate solution for all your food needs. Download the app on Apple and Android stores and start ordering the easy way today. All Uncut News viewers can get 10% off all orders made on GT Eats up until January 31st. Early this morning, 2 fishermen, 50-year-old Mohan Maniram and 22-year-old Zaman Rafiq, were killed in a horrific hit-and-run accident on the Devonshire Castle Public Road, Escribber Coast. According to reports, the two were riding their bicycle down the road on their way to work when 21-year-old drunk driver Dhirendra Sitaram knocked the two men over with such force and violence that Maniram's head was severed and left on the roadway, while his body ended up in a nearby trench. Rafiq's body was also found in the same trench. Sitaram fled the scene only to be arrested later by the police, who confirmed that he was in fact drunk at the time of the auto accident. The police made a minor drug bust in Touche in East Bank Essequibo today. Acting on a tip received, officers discovered 3.2 pounds of cannabis at an abandoned building. The drugs have been taken into police custody and no one was arrested. A man who killed his wife and stuffed her body in a barrel has been sentenced to 25 years in prison. Suraj Veersamy, also known as Radesh, was sentenced by Justice Navindra Singh in the Burbyside Court. He had originally been charged with murder, but pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Veersamy's attorney argued for leniency, citing his youth and remorse, while the state prosecutor asked for a harsher sentence to reflect the prevalence of domestic violence-related crimes in the nation. The judge noted that people need to learn to walk away and to start a new life, and thus sentenced Veersamy to 25 years, with the possibility of parole after 20 years in prison. Now for today's oil update. ExxonMobil is funding the construction of the pipeline for the gas to shore project at a cost of US $1 billion, Prime Minister Phillips said in his written response to a series of questions posed by the opposition Member of Parliament, Phil Lawrence. Last December, the government signed a US $759 million contract with CH4 Lindsay-Kaya for the construction of a gas to shore project at Wales. However, according to the Prime Minister, that cost did not include the pipeline cost. It was explained that the cost of US $759 million was just for the 300 megawatt CC power plant and the natural gas liquids plant. However, it does not include the supervision contract of US $20 million. Also, according to the Prime Minister, while the government is funding the $759 million construction cost through the national budget over the next 3 years, taxpayers will nonetheless be required to repay the oil company over a 20-year period. He noted that while the government looks to fund the cost through the national budget, it expects to fund a portion of the construction contract from a loan financing to be pursued this year. So, it looks like we're going to be in debt on the long haul for this one. In other Exxon-related news, Exxon has announced that its earnings for the year ending in 2022 increased by a staggering US $32.7 billion, taking its full-year earnings last year from US $55.7 billion compared with $23 billion in 2021. The company said its oil equivalent production grew by about 170,000 barrels per day from continued investment in advantage growth projects in the Permian Basin in the United States and, of course, in Guyana.
It's a new year. How about you make your truck run like new with Powered Automotive? Powered Automotive had truck parts and spares from all the major brands you know and love at prices you won't find anywhere else. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana.
It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today.
Now for our Uncut News, here's poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it based to us. Last night I asked, how do you believe Letitia Wright can use her position to help advance Guyana?
But before we get to that, I'd like to say a special thank you to our two paid supporters, Dion Nascimento and David Griffith. Thank you for your support, as it is what helps us bring you the news every evening.
Ron Glasgow suggests that she finds a local development project that aligns with her core mission and provide dedicated and consistent support however she can. It can be a scholarship program, for example. From there, she'd serve as an example to other expatriate Guyanese that want to return and give back to Guyana. In the coming years, Guyana needs all the help it can get from Guyanese first. Indeed. She-Star-Girl8 says Letitia can donate regularly to the Ministry of Education or creates a scholarship program for the arts. She can only do things, like she said, for the children, which is important because they are the future of Guyana in every industry. It's kind of unfair for some I see in the comments to expect her to play a larger role in Guyana. Even though she is Guyanese from birth, like many overseas Guyanese like myself, there isn't much we can do within the political sphere. She is a public figure, not a political figure, and engaging in the politics of any country we are not deeply familiar familiar with is tricky. She did her thing with that speech. However, I don't think it was appropriate to have her speak, as she said it was not expected. Keep seeing you, Letitia. I agree 100% with every point you made there. Dimitri V has a more nuanced but pragmatic approach, saying that she could do a lot, but he really doesn't see her doing much because she's really lived most of her life abroad and really views the invitation as more of a publicity stunt because she's been a star for years, ever since 2018. Nevertheless, she sees her being in the same vein as Eddie Grant when it comes to Guyana. Probably do a little one-time shout-out, but that's about it. If she really wants to use her platform, as she claims, then she should be telling her fans to invest in Guyana, visit Guyana, educate themselves on the country, while also shedding light on the major issues plaguing the nation. Now for tonight's question. Do you believe the government is putting enough investment into solar and other renewables, or are they not? I want to hear from you. So think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. And that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.